My sous chef and husband, Sean, is joining me in the kitchen to prepare our favorite dollar-friendly meals. 30-minute creamy feta sausage orzo bake, chocolate drizzle granola bars, easy cheesy burritos, and money-saving, sugar-free single-serve mocha for your chocolate and caffeine fix. Today's show is all about cooking on a budget, and my husband Sean is here with me to help cook, but also we're going to talk about finances. One of your favorite things.
Oh yeah.
Actually, Sean and I started our marriage, very close to starting our marriage. We started Dave Ramsey. And we have lots to say about all that we've learned over the past 15 years of marriage with budgeting and finance. So stay tuned for a little bit of fun with that conversation. And we're gonna start with a chicken orzo feta bake. And it only takes 30 minutes. You don't have to make anything ahead of time. You don't have to boil the pasta. You dump everything into one baking dish and then you bake it for 30 minutes. So this is my kind of recipe. For this recipe, you'll need 1 pound of orzo pasta, 12 ounces of chicken sausage, 1 cup of baby spinach, 1.5 cups of cherry tomatoes, 1 block of feta cheese, 3 cups of chicken broth, 1 tablespoon of avocado oil, 1/2 teaspoon of salt and pepper. So we're gonna start with some chicken sausage that I'm gonna cut up. And Sean, you can start adding the rest of the ingredients. Literally everything goes into just this baking dish.
Just dump it in there.
Yes.
No organizing?
Nope, the whole thing of that pasta, the whole box of pasta will go in there. And the chicken broth, over to my side here, you can add the whole chicken broth and just make sure everything gets well combined. So for me, the thing that I have to budget the most is really groceries, because that's really the thing that I buy the most. I do buy obviously things that the kids need, like their clothes, and those are specific things that really I take care of. But we make a lot of joint decisions when it comes to other things.
Yeah.
But when it comes to groceries, my goodness.
I don't have a clue.
The price of food, I'm sure everybody can say a good amen to this, has gone up so crazy that it's almost like you need to ration strawberries these days. I mean, it is crazy.
There's no doing that with our kids.
No, there is no doing that. They eat a whole, $8 thing of strawberries in one sitting. So, but hey, at least it's berries. I'm always happy when they're eating healthy. But yes, food has gotten ridiculous as far as the cost of everything. And I just have had to look for deals. So one of the ways that I do that is I shop at certain stores. I avoid other grocery stores, if you know what I mean. There are some that are much more expensive. And another thing that I do is I used to do grocery delivery, which started about the time that Maddie was born, which really saved me with a newborn. But the only downfall of grocery delivery is there's often added fees and costs. And so if you can buy directly from the grocery store, you can still get your groceries delivered to your door without all the fees and all the extra tipping and costs. So just ordering it straight from the grocery store. And you can also do pickup. Usually the fees are, less that way. Yep, you can put the whole thing in there. Yep. And I'll grab a spoon so we can kind of stir it together. The other thing is look for off-brands. Typically, if you get off-brand, it is just as good as far as the ingredients go, but you're not paying for all of the marketing fees that companies use. I also like to buy things in bulk, so at Costco or Sam's Club. And when it comes to things like organic meat, if you can find things that are on sale when they do go on sale, and then just freeze it and store it in your freezer, that's another really good way to save costs on food. So we're gonna kind of just get this and it looks very unappetizing right now, but it'll look wonderful. But just try and get everything kind of just combined. We're gonna drizzle a little bit of avocado oil just to help the pasta fluff up and not stick together. And then you want to kind of form a little well in the middle.
Is that tofu?
This is feta cheese. Oh. And so what this feta cheese is gonna do is it's going to melt in the oven as it bakes, and we're gonna stir it in after it's done baking, and it's gonna form like a cream sauce. Spinach is gonna wilt down, the tomatoes are gonna roast, and the chicken's gonna cook, and the pasta's gonna be fluffy, and it's gonna be divine. So it doesn't look like much right now, but come back in 30 minutes and we'll show you what it looks like with the feta stirred in. So now we're gonna make some granola bars, and you might be thinking, well, you know, granola bars are so cheap at the grocery store, and that can be, but if you buy the healthier granola bars, the ones that are organic, use organic oats, all of the good stuff, they really do add up. I found that actually if I broke down the price of the ones that I was buying for our kids, they're about $1 a bar, and they can plow through those bars pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I started to make my own bars at home. One of the things that makes this bar recipe unique is I use rice cereal, so it has a little bit of that crunchy texture in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what really sets granola bars apart, is they have like different textures to them. So I'll have you make the part that kind of holds everything together.
Okay.
Coconut oil, honey, and sugar,
Throw it
all
in
in
there.
this pot. Just cook it over low heat. You could also just add everything to a bowl in the microwave. And of course, just make sure you're using a glass bowl, not plastic, so it doesn't melt. So we have it just over low heat, and you'll just want to stir it just until the sugar starts to melt and everything combines.
Okay.
So that's why we heat everything up. It's just so that the sugar and the coconut oil, everything kind of makes almost like a glue to hold the oats and the rice cereal together. I'm gonna add the dry ingredients to a bowl. And Sean and I, we started budgeting. What
Right when we got married, really.
was it? Right when we got married?
Well, actually, yeah, it was right around that.
Yeah. And we
We
had,
did some premarital counseling, you know, to get ready for marriage, and the pastor talked about, you know, being on the same page.
yeah. And we were doing pretty good. We did the envelope system. So we were doing Dave Ramsey, and we pulled out cash. Everything was going along nicely. Then all of a sudden, it was my birthday.
It's the birthday story every time.
And I think it was pretty close to when we just started. So he was very,
very strict.
intense. He was like, no, we are going to stick to this budget. We're not using anything but cash. Well, so it was my actual birthday. We went to a store, and I remember I found like a $13 tank top that I wanted. And it was my birthday. And of course, I feel like on your birthday, you should be able to buy a $13 tank top. And he was like, no, we didn't pull out cash for that. And I remember that started a very big argument that day on my birthday. I mean, I stormed out of the store. We were in our 20s, and I was like so upset. I was like, this has ruined my life. This budget, it's ruined everything. But it actually was a really, really good thing to start and to set into place. And honestly, that budget has prevented us from probably so many arguments over the years, because now the fact that we are on the same page.
Yeah, and I've repented from that. So
He learned very quickly.
Birthdays, there's no budget.
Yeah, there's no budget on a birthday.
Just like there's no calories,
That's right. So, and that looks good now.
Okay.
That's kind of coming together, so you can turn that off.
Okay, do I want it to be
And
like
you can
this?
pour, yes, you can pour it directly into the bowl with the, and I did add protein powder to this mixture as well, so that there's a little bit of protein in these granola bars. And then we're just gonna stir this liquid into the bars just until they start to kind of form more of like a bar texture. And then we'll pop it into a baking dish with some parchment paper. And this one, you really wanna make sure that there's parchment paper at the bottom of the pan, just so you can pull them out when they're done setting. And you'll wanna set them by either putting them in the fridge or the freezer, just so that that coconut oil can kind of harden back up and make bars. But over the years, we have graduated from the envelopes. Thank God.
Graduated?
We did. We don't do.
Cash is just a lot harder these days.
Yes. We don't do envelopes. I will say that that was a difficult season, because it's very hard, and we learned that, to plan perfectly.
Yeah.
Because life throws a lot of different things at you, like especially with kids, you're not expecting, oh my gosh, you just grew out of your shoes in 1 month. Like, we didn't plan for that. We thought these would last you months, you know, things like that. Yeah. It does get difficult, especially with kids, to plan perfectly. But over the years of just practicing budgeting, we have learned kind of our general spending. And
Well, I think when you're starting off, I think Dave Ramsey had a quote, and it was like, you know, budgets tell your money where it's supposed to go versus where, you know, finding out the other way.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that was really helpful in figuring out how to get started.
Yeah. And I will say, I do think you have come to a little bit more of a balanced place. I feel like there's someone in every marriage that is a little more serious and strict when it comes to budgeting.
You know, if I'm gonna go into something, I'm gonna do it full fledged.
Yeah,
So.
which is it's a good trait. It's a good trait. But I think that you gotta have balance with everything. Just like I talk about balance with food all the time. You know, it's the same thing with finances, and we compare food and finances a lot because it really is very similar. God expects us to be a good steward over our finances. Same thing with our bodies, you know, and so he's looking for people who are good stewards. And so ultimately that means having a budget, sticking to it, but also finding balance. Like, you don't want a budget and also calculating the cost of every little thing to become an idol or a god to you, where it's like you're so obsessed that it takes over, you know?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
And we've both kind of learned that along the way. So as you can see, I took a piece of parchment paper just so it didn't stick to my hands, and I kind of pressed everything together in the pan, just like this. So that way everything kind of just forms one nice bar, just like that. And then we're gonna top it with some chocolate chips. You want to help me?
I should have been like, I want to do that.
Yeah. You can help me, like, press them in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like that. Just so they kind of stick once we take them out of the pan. And then we'll go ahead and pop these in the freezer just until they set, and then you can cut them into bars. Coming up next, wonderfully rich and cheesy, you can modify these burritos however complex or simple to your family's liking. Now we're on to one of our family favorite budget-friendly recipes, easy cheesy burritos.
My favorite.
For this recipe, you'll need 1 pound of lean ground meat, 1 can of black beans, 1 can of tomato paste, 1/2 cup of shredded cheese, 1 package taco seasoning, 6 tortillas, and 8 slices of cheese. All you want to do is you want to start by browning up some ground meat. You could do turkey too, and then add some taco seasoning. Again, you could make your own taco seasoning, even more budget friendly because packets do cost more money than just making it yourself. And then you just add the tomato paste, black beans, and cheese once the meat is pretty much browned up.
Is that browned up?
Yep, that looks good.
Okay.
What, in addition to easy cheesy burritos, did you eat growing up? We don't talk about this kind of stuff often because
you don't want to know.
I feel like it does.
My mom did a good job. I mean, I ate a lot of Kraft mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Ate a lot of Hamburger Helper.
Yeah.
And my favorite, which I would eat like 2 cans a day, was SpaghettiOs.
Oh.
SpaghettiOs with meatballs.
Oh, that's, I think, the worst.
SpaghettiOs with meatballs.
I have to admit, I didn't grow up eating the healthiest options either.
But it was the 90s, you know? You just eat whatever you want.
So I don't think that there's any right or wrong way. I mean, especially when you didn't really get to pick what you were eating, right? Like everyone just kind of ate what their parents gave them. And your mom did do a lot of homemade meals. I remember that because we started dating when we were 16. So I remember coming over when we were dating, and his mom was always in the kitchen. Yep. She was always cooking something.
Well, my mom would make 3 separate meals for all 3 boys.
Which I still can't fathom.
Yeah.
Not fathom that.
I don't know how she did that or why she did that.
Yeah.
But.
Well, she loved you. And I think food was her love language. It still is. And I understand that. I definitely am on the same page with her on that. But I will not make my family separate meals. Yeah. In fact, I did up until Ollie was born. So when it was just me, Maddie, and Sean, I made 3 separate meals for almost every meal. I would make myself something, Sean something, and Maddie something. And then we moved to Tennessee right around when Ollie was 1, so he started eating meals with us. And I remember the day when I was like, no more. this has to stop. We are going to all eat the same thing, and if you don't like it, you get what you get on your plate, and if you don't eat it, you're gonna be hungry. And guess what? That did last for about a week or two, where especially Maddie, she'd complain and she'd be like, I'm not eating that. And then I'd say, well, that's okay. Your food's on your plate whenever you're ready to eat. And when you're ready, just know that it's there. So there's nothing else to eat. That's what you get. And then she would kind of protest. Well, after about a few days of being hungry, she went back to that plate at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And she started eating what we were eating. And
she's come a long way.
Yeah, since then
year.
she has really expanded what she'll eat because she kind of was forced into that. Yeah. So whenever parents tell me, oh no, my kids just won't do it, I'm like, well, let them go hungry and you'll see that they'll eat eventually. So that's kind of how we transitioned.
Is this looking right?
Yes, and once all the cheese melts, and the tomato paste is really like softened and it mixes in well, that's when you know it's ready to roll into the tortillas. So add a little bit with the spatula in the center of the tortilla. And I'll just show how we kind of roll them up over the, how we make our burritos. I'll get a little spoon. So you don't want a whole lot. You just kind of spread it down the center of the tortilla. And this is how I make the burritos, but you can make them however you want. If you want to like really stuff them, you could. But I just do them pretty thin, just like that. And then I just kind of roll it over the meat filling. Sometimes it kind of leaks out the sides a little bit. So then what I'll do is I'll kind of line a sheet pan or a baking pan and I'll continue making these. And basically, I either do one of two things. I either microwave them just before my kids or Sean is like needing some food. And this is a great thing to make ahead of time, by the way, because you can leave them in your fridge for up to 5 days. So let's say the kids are like starving and they need something really fast. I can just pull one of these out of the fridge and just heat up just one at a time. Yeah. But if you wanted to make a whole pan of them to serve a crowd or to serve your family, you can put them all in a baking sheet pan or a dish. And you can bake them like 350 degrees for like 5 to 10 minutes, just until the cheese melts on top. So what I usually do is I put some cheese just like that, some sliced cheese on top. This is just how we serve them, but you don't have to do this part. And you don't have to make the cheese look pretty, because once you melt it, it just all blends on top of the burritos. So I microwave, like I said, just 1 or 2 for kids or the kids or Sean. And that cheese melts in about 30 seconds or so. So these are not only budget friendly, they're so easy to make, kid approved, family friendly.
My favorite.
Definitely want to try these ones out. Coming up next, continuing with our budget friendly theme, this 1-minute sugar-free mocha is sure to be your new favorite go-to recipe when you need a chocolate and caffeine fix. Well, Sean and I were talking about how budgeting is really a matter of stewardship. And when it comes to stewarding things, we both have found struggles in different areas. And I feel like that's how it usually is in a marriage. You find that you hold on tightly to different things. And so coming to a place where we've learned to steward over things, for me, it's been my body and learning the balance of how can I steward over my body wisely and also in balance. And with you, it's been with finances. So what does that look like for you?
Well, I look at it like, over time, I've made a lot of dumb decisions with finances. And, with food, it can be similar. You can make some bad choices and then pay for it later kind of thing. And the same goes for finances when you decide to buy something that maybe you shouldn't, or, you go into debt for something, you see the repercussions for a long time, and then it takes a long time to get out of it. So kind of works in the same way with your body.
It really is about instant gratification versus delayed gratification.
Something we're teaching our kids right now.
That's right. Yeah. And I think it's a common principle that we can all use in different areas of our life. So whatever area that looks out of balance for you, just think about, how can I use delayed gratification? Meaning it's not always what I want when I want it, because that's ultimately going to end in destruction. And the Bible tells us very clearly that the giving into the flesh always does lead to destruction.
Yes. I mean, the Bible also talks about the seed principle, and God says in his word that he gives us seed to sow, so to be generous and to take care of our needs and things like that, but then also bread to eat, so things that will
Nourish us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is true. Sometimes we are kind of thinking, this is all mine.
Yeah.
But really, at the end of the day, God gives us a portion to give back and to give to those in need and take care of people around us. And then there's a portion to nourish us as well.
Yeah.
And that's the wonderful thing about God's kingdom. He always gives enough for us to have our needs supplied, as long as we are also good stewards and taking care of people around us and others, and we're being good stewards with what he's given us. So I think that that's a powerful lesson when it comes to budgeting our time, our resources, our food, all the things that God has given us. Last but not least, we're going to end our budgeting show with one of the most popular splurges, I think, in America: coffee. Of course, coffee is delicious when someone else makes it. It's just all the better. But you can make your favorite mocha at home with a few simple ingredients, and all it requires is your leftover morning coffee. For this recipe, you'll need 1 cup of coffee, 1 cup of milk, 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, 3 teaspoons of sweetener of choice, and for the topping, you'll need chocolate syrup and whipped topping. So all you gotta do is add that coffee to a blender, warm up some milk. You could do half and half or whatever kind of milk you like, just in the microwave, just until it's just warm for your coffee. And if you want to do this in iced mocha, you could do that as well. Just use, obviously, cold milk. Some cocoa powder. This is really to taste, so if you don't like it super chocolatey, you could always do a little less. And same with the sweetener. It really is to taste, so however sweet you want your coffee. We're gonna put this into our blender cup and blend it up. Okay, so why I blend this up is it really does make everything combined. So the cocoa powder, everything gets really frothy and mixed well together. And we're gonna pour it into a cute little glass right here. So I used cold milk, so that's why I'm using the glass cup. We're doing an ice mocha. You could also add some ice cubes to this to make it a little bit more chilly. Then, of course, it would not be like a traditional coffee from a coffee shop without a little bit of whipped cream and chocolate syrup. But of course, that's entirely optional. You could also do a peppermint version of this with just a little bit of peppermint extract, or you could do just about any kind of variation of a mocha just by adding a few different extracts or flavors to this, and it tastes like it's straight from the coffee shop. Well, today's show was so much fun cooking with you and talking about budgets. Honestly, though, I feel like we've come to a better place because of the budgeting that we've done over the years in our marriage, where we can talk freely about finances. And, you know, that's a really healthy and a good thing. And I love cooking with you. You're my favorite person.
And I love budgeting with you. So.
So if you'd like these inexpensive recipes, you can head over to dashingdish.com, where you'll find recipes and more to nourish your body and soul.